We are live. This is the market update. Happy New Year. I am your host, Bill Noble. Is MicroStrategy crashing? Could that wind up being a good thing for crypto? Will I ever be bearish again? Not after some of the things I've seen on Twitter. And believe it or not, YouTube's letting me talk about it. So guess what? I'm going to go right on talking about it. The tech bros have to be replaced with Web3. Crypto bros have to run the world. It's as simple as that. So if we're all going to sell because there's a problem with MicroStrategy, we'll go over that. Or if they're going to test Michael Saylor's nerve, we'll go over that. Right? They're going to make everybody negative, get everyone out, and then you see the orange man either in an orange tie or Michael Saylor sitting next to the orange man at some time in the next 30 days. Like, you got to ask yourself, between now and the end of January, which will be 10 days after or 15 days after the inauguration, where's crypto going to be? Interesting question if you look at them relentlessly selling and giving up on it. I don't even know why they're giving up on it, except to say that maybe people's taste for speculative assets as it relates to equities is falling, and people are starting to get irritated, depressed, and angry. Exactly what you want for a bull market for the ages, right? You want everybody in a bull market acting like they're in a bear market. Even if they're long, they're upset. So everyone is looking at MicroStrategy stock on the legacy side. We'll go over some of that math. It's really not good for MicroStrategy itself. So I'm wondering if there could be, ready, a MicroStrategy crash because, Michael Saylor sold the heck out of it to buy more Bitcoin. So I wonder if we're going to have a little bit of disturbance to go along with everybody's upset. And of course, you want to stay tuned to see how that affects, how that's showing up in the news, like fear, greed, how that's showing up in the charts, say on like intraday charts of crypto, or on weekly charts of things like MicroStrategy and Coinbase. The bottom line is, and especially if you were a YouTube member and you saw our 2025 preview, or if you're in Patreon and you got my profanity-laced battle cry for crypto and my profanity-laced outcry against some of the things that have been going on for a long time, okay? You want to check these things out. You want to check out the podcast. The podcast has the XRP prices or price prediction targets, right? And the XRP price prediction deluxe is coming to the YouTube member area in the next 48 hours. Podcast is already in there for what we think, as in Unhinged Crypto, me and Toby Ward, for next year. Here's a hint. It's so absurdly bullish, it might be beyond your current imagination. Because as with Thanksgiving, and even pre-Christmas, the market is determined to drag everyone down into the holidays, and I'm just not doing it. I'd like to thank Elon Musk for that, for making me permanently bullish, as the world has told me what they think of me as a citizen, what they think of me personally, okay? So the YouTube member area is going to be hot with what we think you should be doing headed into next year. Naturally, if you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. And if the content works for you, please hit the like button on the stream. Please hit the like button on other channels where you may be watching us. Okay, let's welcome who's here before we rock this stream. Looks like we have Gregory first on the stream. Welcome, a new member. Right, wrong again. Double black moon tonight. Rare. Next level. GAN Astro stuff happening. People could get unsettled, but other people's unsettlement is your opportunity. Joe Mike, a member. Ian is here. Welcome. Indie Rock Crypto from West Michigan. Hello. Right? Some imaginative alpha coming your way, sir. Hans, Bob, great filibuster. Salute to you. Forget about it. Digital Bobby, Reggie with the green button, a new member. Welcome, sir. Captain Crypto. Hello. Cossacks 8, Fernando, let's go. Quiet Don. Oh my God, Bull Runner, man. You can say a lot of things about Bull Runner, man. They're all positive, but he definitely knows how to use our $4.99 emoji plan. Priority on comments there when you hit that little member, the member join button at the bottom of the chat. Excuse me. Crypto Pulse, Texas. Welcome, Teresa, Carl, Daniel J, Sean, Crypto Crazy, and Evening Dump. Welcome to the late night live stream. Teresa Simon, hi. Bill back dispensing hopium. Okay, hope is not a tactic. The tactic is to take advantage of everyone's despair. Okay? Yes, Chris wants me to launch a boomer coin. Yes, let's just say I would love to. I love small coins, but I don't know if small coins like me. That's funny, not funny, let me tell you. All right, let's get going on news. Let's just figure out what all this means and how we're going to approach it. Okay, so just in case you wanted to give up on crypto and you don't see the value proposition, Janet Yellen, who never met any unnecessarily printed money that she didn't like, says the U.S. will hit the debt ceiling in mid-January, forcing the Treasury to employ extraordinary measures, okay? And then maybe what they can do is allow Elon to come out of his Cybertruck where he will be living for the next 3 weeks and actually do something useful like cut government spending. Not a surprise that the orange man is being left in a predicament. Not a surprise. Okay, what will also not be a surprise is how they come out swinging on crypto. They can come out swinging on crypto, or they can have a crisis. I think they're going to come out swinging on crypto. I'm just flat out calling it crypto QE. I think the Japanese are going to do it. I think they're going to do it. I think the banking system over there is going to adopt XRP, and the Bank of Japan is going to be like, hey, let's make everybody money. Right? Again, XRP, you know, the draft of the price prediction is in Patreon. The full price prediction will be in the YouTube member area in 48 hours. 1 month S&P performance by sector. Gee, there's a lot of red ink here. Utilities, materials, real estate, everything interest rate sensitive, energy down, healthcare down, banks down. Interesting, right? Sell everything that's interest rate sensitive. Well, interest rates have been going up, so I guess they have to do that trade. However, I think that's total nonsense. It's total nonsense, right? AI does drive up power prices, but AI and technological innovation is inherently deflationary. And then as soon as the orange man gets in office, you're going to see 25% more for 30% less at the store within 6 months because phone calls will be made. Phone calls will be made. You're going to find out how much inflation was price gouging or weird or just general weirdness, kind of like the phantom job numbers, right? Eric Trump, people who don't see crypto are the people who will be left behind. So again, you have been told everyone's going to be wearing an orange tie. They have to be. I mean, honestly, they've embarrassed themselves. As one guy on Twitter said, we will never forget it when they told us what they really think about us, as in bros and crypto bros. We got told. We got told in multiple ways. And I don't care if they sell the market. This is personal. And I talked about it on Patreon. The only way out is crypto. It's not hopium. It's like a hill. And, you know, I'm not dying on it, right? I'm going to live. I'm going to make it. And so are you, right? My job is to get you through, right? My job is also to help get me through, but I'm going to do that by getting you through to the other side, out of your day job, out of whatever, into abundance and prosperity. That's what I want to do. So they can go ahead and sell this thing. They can have fun with it. Okay. I'm not giving up, and I'm always looking for where to get involved. I mean, you got to think about this for just a second. Galaxy Digital is talking about 150K Bitcoin and 5.5K Ethereum, which is like, we have some similar numbers, right? We have bigger numbers too. We have similar numbers, but just remember, you realize that they're all in a hurry to sell Bitcoin below where it was before Thanksgiving, right? That there's been a reverse Santa rally. They completely they're giving up on this market. People are packing it in. And I don't think that's the right thing to do at all. I think risk management and tax loss selling may be a good idea, right? If you got something that just went down and is not coming back. But I would not give up the ship, because despair is when you make the most money. Crypto Billy becomes a loyalty badge member. Sir, I appreciate that. Welcome. Okay. The slight kiss of death is that, the Financial Times is writing about crypto's resurgence and is writing about crypto stocks on the move. Yikes. Right? We were talking about crypto stocks on the move in 2023. Now this is being celebrated, and we need to take a look at the MicroStrategy chart. Because if Michael Saylor shorted MicroStrategy and he crashes it because he basically just, diluted it or issued more and more stock to buy more Bitcoin, that could create a disturbance in crypto. It feels like that's what's happening. We'll look at the chart, right? In other words, is Michael Saylor engineering his own dip? Like, how crazy is that? Like that's like beyond price suppression. That's like, I don't know. That's like, I don't know what that is, man. Is that like Yoda lifting the X-Wing fighter out of the swamp? He's like engineering a dip, to get Bitcoin. Is it some kind of mind trick he's doing? It could be, right? In other words, if you crash MicroStrategy and Bitcoin flushes with it and everybody gets hysterically bearish, he's just standing down there waiting to take it all. Literally. So the guy's like, I don't know. It's a mind trick. He's moving it around. MicroStrategy drops 209 million in market cap, right? As Michael Saylor extends his Bitcoin buying streak to 8 weeks. It's like shorting his own stock. It's unbelievable. MicroStrategy acquired another 2,000 Bitcoin around 97K. So their average price is 62. MicroStrategy won't stop buying Bitcoin. And I agree. He's not going to stop. He's like, you know what? I don't care about the short-term value of my stock. He actually told you to short it. He told you to short it because I'm going to drive it down to buy more Bitcoin. And then when Bitcoin is at my price target, well, then you can reevaluate your short at that point. I mean, it's so great when people, when they tell you what they're going to do and then they do it. And then, people sit around and they either don't believe it or they just read it the wrong way. Now, I think a crash in MicroStrategy stock is an obvious negative catalyst in the short term, particularly if people freak out either today, tomorrow, the last day of the year, or at the start of the year on, just delayed profit taking into the next year. But okay, if that creates a dip in Bitcoin, because we all know what happens, price moves and then they wrap the narrative around price. So at 105, right, Bitcoin is going to 200, according to every investment bank. Bitcoin is at 92 and it's definitely going to 87 and the bull market's over. They brought the cycle back and it's done. You know, the reality is always in the gray, but crypto is in this black and white mode. And I can even tell in the comments, you know, people are getting salty. People don't want to hear it. You know, you get red ink 3 days in a row, they don't want to hear it. Okay. Well, we had red ink for 8 months and I didn't stop. And I'm not going to stop now. Now, again, you got to manage risk, but okay. So here's the extent to which MicroStrategy can move. So this is MSTR-tracker.com. Okay. I can copy it and put it in the chat. Fancy, right? Okay. This comes from a good friend of mine. Right now, you can see on this little flashing dot down here that MicroStrategy is, the stock is worth 1.8 times the amount of Bitcoin that it holds. That's because it's in a way like a meme stock. The only way people can participate overseas is to buy MicroStrategy stock. They can't buy Bitcoin. They can't buy the Bitcoin ETF, so they buy MicroStrategy, resulting in MicroStrategy being overvalued. Hence, Michael Saylor wanting to go, oh, I will give you all of the overvalued stock that you want so I can buy Bitcoin. So it's still overvalued. And then, you know, all the hedge fund cute guys will be like, yeah, I shorted it. Whatever. I mean, again, it's like it's all the guys who got cute shorting it in the range. Now, there's some big moves there. You could have made a lot of money on that, you know, yen carry trade crash, which no one remembers. No one remembers. And you know what? No one should. Because if you're in an uptrend, these corrections, you're either adding on the corrections aggressively or you're ignoring them because you got to hold the market. You will earn whatever money you make. Michael Saylor earned the money he's making by sitting and watching Bitcoin sit at 16K, okay, for 6 months. And every YouTube genius was like, well, you really don't need to buy it because you're going to get it at 10. So there's no need to pay 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25. Oh, gee, it's at 30. I guess it's not going to 10. It's the same thing now. He earned his money, though, listening to everybody talk about 10K. He listened to it. And he had to earn his money, as will you. Fear Greed is now at 65. So at Thanksgiving, it was 92, and now it's 65. You know, I can tell. It's like, hey, yeah, you know, Bill's full of it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. If you go to the member area and you watch this podcast and you watch me and Toby Ward lay this thing out, right? It was like it was like in the Matrix, right? Where, you know, Neo walks in and Oracle just kind of like lays it all out for him. It's been laid out for you, right? How this is going to go down, how it's going to behave, how you have to organize yourself. And look at this. Everybody is getting bearish right before the orange man steps up to the podium. Right before he steps up to the podium and figures out how to make himself popular again, while they go change the diapers on, you know, these tech guys that just soiled themselves in front of everybody, possibly on a permanent basis. I mean, I'm kind of done. I'm kind of done, right? It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Drive a Cybertruck up to my house and drop it off and give it to me for free. Honestly, I'd give you the keys back. I'd rather eat tree bark, right? I'd rather eat tree bark. And if you insist that I keep it, I'm selling it to buy crypto. Generally speaking, you can keep your free Cybertruck. I'm not going to get one, but you get the point. How bad is the economy? Well, Philly Fed has 600,000 jobs that don't exist, on top of 800,000 jobs that don't exist. And as we've discussed, you know, we've discussed this, right? Whether they're raising interest rates on economic data, that's completely wrong. Whether you can get a job or whether you can't. Whether a job goes to somebody else or it goes to you. Well, I have feelings about that, but does that really matter? How are we going to get somewhere? Are we going to get somewhere with negativity, or are we going to get somewhere with abundance? I think we're going to get somewhere with abundance, but that doesn't mean we're going to sit around and be patsies, right? Popular political commentator says, what is going on? What was said, right? People getting censored and things like that is disgusting. And you should never forget this episode. And look at this. The orange man does a little flip on the visas. He's like, yeah, it's there. I use it. I shouldn't. I like it. I like the style. I like the honesty. You know, I like the reading the room. Read the room, bro. Orange tie coming up next, right? All we have to do is see Michael Saylor at the inauguration. I don't think that's priced in. I think people are packing it in. And I think at the end of the day, Elon did us all a favor. Really. He did us a favor because now they got to do the hard pivot to Bitcoin. They don't have the option, right? The popularity, at least with a part of the base, is not there. So you better get everybody fired up because guess what? The Chinese are going to get fired up. I love the landscape of Hong Kong, right? Give me the landscape of Hong Kong, man. All these people are going to hit the green button. And you better hit it before they do. Because they are looking at this screen and they're like, would you look at these characters sell this market? Look at these characters give up. They can't get their paperwork done fast enough. And we're all selling. It's insane. The virus is spreading. Bitcoin braced for major 2025 price move. Yeah, along with a massive reality check in legacy, right? Reality check in legacy. People looking for prosperity. People looking for a way to push back against the system. You know, we're past the 2-year anniversary of this channel. Why does this channel exist? Am I broadcasting from my yacht like other influencers? Do I have 1 million followers across all platforms? No. But this channel exists to spread the message. The message is that crypto can help make you free. And anybody who thinks Bitcoin can't 10x, best think again. Because crypto can still trade like crypto if the monster gets loose. They're sitting on it for now. I really thought it was going to go up this afternoon, but they got me. I don't care because I'll be back, right? And if you can ignore the noise, just like the people who made money long-term in equities, the virus is spreading. Bitcoin could go past 250K, says Tom Lee, who wouldn't adjust his price target in 2018 as the market collapsed. Made himself famous. He was on TV every week. It was an amazing strategy. Bitcoin can go beyond 250. Maybe not next year, but depending on what the administration does. Whoop, wait a minute. I'm letting the cat out of the bag. That's in the member area forecast, right? Definitely a podcast you want to, if you're taking a drive over the holidays, you definitely want to plug in and listen to that. Definitely want to listen to that, especially when we're talking about what the highs and the lows of the year could be. So, top 5 stories. Cybertruck, very impressive. I've seen him. Very nice. Okay. I would just assume do crypto. Okay. The Orange Man's portfolio. Yes, the Orange Man does have a portfolio, and the Orange Man is a political pragmatist. The dollar is too strong. Foreign labor is too cheap because the dollar is too strong. And I'm waiting for them to make a statement about it. They're going to have to. I know they don't want to create a crash, but they can change the value of the dollar, or they can fight the tech bros about labor laws. It's really easier to change the value of the dollar. It is. Seriously, it is. European Central Bank should consider a Bitcoin reserve, says a German finance minister. Well, the European Central Bank has got to do something because they've been buying debt. They bought debt for 5 years with negative interest rates right before a hyperinflation spiral. So they've got some losses at the European Central Bank and at the Fed and at the Bank of Japan. Okay. They got losses. They used to be able to buy bonds and ride it. Now, I don't know. How's that going? So they say their rules don't let them buy Bitcoin. Okay. I know the logistics of this thing, make it not necessarily workable unless they're using an ETF. But anybody who thinks we're not going to have crypto QE is crazy. We're either going to have crypto QE or they're going to let things detonate, and then we're going to have real QE. So, I can wait. How long have we been waiting? You waited the whole year. I mean, unless you were like a serious like meme coin or sector tactician with these AI agents. I mean, I know some guys who got it right. I talked about some coins in the beginning and then didn't talk about it until later. And we all have our story for this year. Notice I haven't done a year in review. I'm not doing a year in review. It was a range. Everyone got bearish. It went up. It corrected. Everyone got bearish again. That's the year in review. We're so set up for upside because everyone's discouraged when it really on paper just looks like a bull market that corrects. Okay, we talked about this last night. FTX to start repaying customers. I mean, FTX customers looking at ETH at 3,000, they got to be like, wow, this is exactly where it was before everything blew up. Abstract, right? From Igloo and Pudgy Penguins. A layer 2. Nothing's going to stop these guys. Nothing. Feel free to check out the profanity-laced price prediction analysis on Patreon. There's 2 charts, okay, and a video. And this speaks for itself, that image. Okay, that was the tweet about the market update that probably didn't go out. Okay, in Germany, they're threatening to cancel the election. Again, what are people focused on? Hope? Are they focused on who should say what? Or are they focused on what you can do to be free? Okay? What you can do to be free. Ethereum long-term holders climbed in 2024 as Bitcoin holders got off the train and sold. I guess ETH holders are forced to hold, I would suppose. Everyone's selling. Everyone getting off the train. Everyone trading the cycle. Everyone take profits. Everyone going home. Crazy. Like the macro has never been better. The spiritual has the spiritual fighting nature of crypto has never been better. Right? Like sometimes I got to do things when I'm down. I just watched Gladiator 2, man. I got to tell you something. Gladiator 1, when it came out, it won everything. And Gladiator 2 was actually better in many ways. And I think if crypto is getting you down, I say watch 1 and 2. That's what I think. Bitcoin price confirmed. Oh, excuse me. Bitcoin price breakdown confirmed. Okay. Well, we'll go over the charts. Clearly, MicroStrategy stock is a problem. And Bitcoin can't break moving averages on the upside. We've discussed that. We'll go into the details. XRP drops 5%. They want to give you XRP below $2. Did we have a guy on the stream going, wow, I used to be in stocks and I'm used to buying every dip. I actually think if you grab XRP in size below $2, that could be a 10x. That could be, it could be a 7 or 8x, right? On a big cap, like sitting in your Coinbase. So if you can get 8x on one of your HODL coins, imagine what you could get in the rest of the market. debt ceiling looms in a signal for a Bitcoin cycle bottom. Oh, now there's a graphic I can get behind. I mean, it's so good I put it in twice. Okay, Bitcoin to hit a record around 185 in 2025. Mike is always so well dressed. I like the patterns. Okay, well, 185 is a nice number for an investment bank. It's slightly below consensus. Everybody wants to be above consensus. So they're bullish, but they're bearish. So like, well, it can go to 185, but we're not doing a strategic reserve. You know, they're not acting like zealots. That's what Jordy Visser calls, crazy crypto bros. I'm not sure what category I belong in, but I do share Jordy's view. I got the abundance thing from reading his work. I used to work with him. I consider him the father of the market update. Okay. And when he's talking about Bitcoin and artificial intelligence and having 20% of a portfolio in Bitcoin, and then I'm watching the whole crypto community get bearish and salty because the market didn't get a Santa rally. If you didn't get a Santa rally, you're going to get life-changing money in 2025. Okay. But you may get it in spurts. Again, everyone thinks it's going to look like the last cycle. It's not going to look like the last cycle because there's no cycle. There's no cycle. There's huge rallies and retracements. And I would refer you to the podcast in the member area for more details on how and what it's going to look like. MicroStrategy's plunge deepens. Following its inclusion is the NASDAQ 100. So again, very predictable, right? Yay, MicroStrategy is included in an index. Dump. It happens all the time, right? Something gets included in the Dow, it goes down. Something gets kicked out of the Dow because of bad performance, it goes up. Never fails, right? When everyone's talking about MicroStrategy in the S&P, MicroStrategy goes down. Mike's going to short MicroStrategy, in effect, in quotes, to buy as much Bitcoin as he can. And then when he's done with that and the Bitcoin starts to rise, he's going to start buying companies. And then he's going to get in the S&P 500. And then you can check your MicroStrategy short at that point. But again, volatility is the name of the game. This is very much a part of our forecast. So MicroStrategy going up, MicroStrategy then crashing. Okay. We have to get used to this. Again, you really need to check out the podcast. Okay. AI agents capture attention, probably too much attention at the top. Okay. But this AI agent narrative, what's the next one? Is it Lush? Is it something, I don't know, weird on the adult entertainment front? Who knows? Okay. I'm watching that particular coin. All I'm saying is, you're trying to find out what's next. Bitcoin holders drop. Bitcoin drops as long-term holders keep selling. Right? In other words, when the people who have held it for years seemingly get off the train before it potentially goes parabolic, that's how it goes parabolic, because it's really painful to get off the train at 92 and then have to think about buying back in at 112. Right? I mean, to me, I would rather take a shot if people panic now on the long side than be just arbitrarily taking profits for the sake of taking profits. I mean, unless you got bills to pay or boats to buy. That's what I always say. Okay, so on the TA front, this is LushAI. Okay, it's actually ETH based. I'm just watching this, like we watch Ski Dog or Ski Mask Dog. Right? Interesting how this thing broke out and is now returning back to support. It's the AI agent model. Let's put it that way. Okay. Let's go to some live TA. So I thought it was fantastic when I had this 9 bottom in XRP. I'm like, oh my God, yes. Vindication. Take your Cybertruck and go. All right. So didn't get exactly what I was looking for, and I really hope it's not a failed rally, because if it is, that's where I got the idea that, oh no, if we have a MicroStrategy stock crash, this failed rally in XRP is uh-oh. Because again, XRP just cannot get above any of these quantitative moving averages, and neither can Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin almost feels like, it's not down only, but the rallies are all failing. I know it's a really simple chart, but it's like rally, fail, sideways, fail, rally, fail. It's really hard to argue with this picture, right? Solana is going sideways, but again, Solana, if you look at a daily chart, hasn't done anything. Solana unwound the entire post-election move. And it's funny, people may be disgusted with meme coins, and that's hysterical, because I'm wondering if there's going to be an ICO boom, or Solana is used as a payment network, or the AI agents are either going to use Solana or Base. And everyone's given up on Solana, like right on top of like legit support near this 180 area. Like everyone's just packing it in. That, to me, that seems crazy, and if they flush it again, or if they just sit here, just sitting here, I think is irritating people more. Now let's go to MicroStrategy. Okay. MicroStrategy looking to possibly fill a gap from the election. So the stock went up. You had like meme stock mania. The 13 top on a 4-hour chart was early December, and it's pretty much been down only since. So you've got two gaps you can fill. The first gap is like 260, 265. The other gap is down here at 227, and there's a DeMark point at 212. So that's MicroStrategy doing, I don't know what they call back and fill. The DeMark work doesn't look good. It's breaking a key moving average. Okay. And there's a lot of DeMark support down here. So if they do heave it, from 302, if there is some sort of what they call dislocation where everyone freaks out, that's going to hurt crypto. Yeah. But they're going to probably wind up selling it right into support if that happens. And I think it's simply an organic correction, because if there's a way to look closely at the DeMark work, right? This is A, B, C. So it's a very organic zigzag. It's just a question of, where does it end? Does it end at 300, or is there a bigger heave? Because the most bullish thing that can ever happen is that Michael Saylor starts taking heat. First he had to get on the tape and say, I don't care what any of you say, I'm selling stock to buy Bitcoin. And everyone says, well, Mike, are you a giant, Ponzi scheme? He's like, no, I'm just doing economics. That's his view. Then MicroStrategy stock will go down, which he probably expects, and then he'll be back on TV again, getting tons of free publicity. The thing about Michael Saylor is, I wish he was a better spokesperson, right? He's more of a scientist and a serious guy. But maybe Bitcoin doesn't need a spokesperson anymore after Elon told you that you can all go eat cake. If you remember the French Revolution, small reminder that the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, you got the American Revolution and you got the French Revolution. The American Revolution was the election of the Orange Man, and Elon telling you what to go do with your face could be the French Revolution. Except, of course, we're not going to be all negative and dire and do all the things that were involved with that. We're just going to buy crypto in the darkest hour, right? The flag was still there from our national anthem. Yeah. Bitcoin was still there, even if they go crash MicroStrategy. And if they do crash MicroStrategy, and that's like the hidden cat, like if that's the hidden thing that gives you the final dip, that's Christmas. Because again, you're you're going to get wound up about a stock that goes down because the CEO is shorting it to buy Bitcoin. It's okay if the stock goes down. The stock adjusts to fair value and it makes everyone bearish and gets fear greed at 60. You're set up for a monster up move, whether that occurs before the inauguration or after. I would prefer, honestly, everyone get pessimistic and doubt the orange man, because doubting the orange man is a mistake. Like, the orange man didn't come this far to pack it in and give up because people put their foot in their mouth or because things got difficult. Because remember, you know, he had legal difficulties. He was going to lose his freedom. He's not going to lose his freedom. He's not going to lose the American public. He won the election. He's here to win. I have confidence in the orange man's survival ability, which is why I have confidence in crypto. And it's very ironic that this plus sign that you see all over this 4-hour chart in Ethereum means the next puke in Ethereum will give you a 13 bottom. So I welcome whatever puke they need to do here if they need to do it, because they're going to puke it right into daddy's arms, literally, right? You just got to think of yourself as daddy, right? It's like, bring it to daddy. Okay. PowerPoint. That was kind of like a new version of Freestyle Live TA. Okay, here's what I think is happening in Bitcoin, assuming it doesn't fall apart, right? So if Bitcoin does not take out the Thanksgiving low, I think you're potentially set up after the MicroStrategy mess for a move back to 115. Now, if you take out this low, it's going to be a different story. But there is a DeMark case for something emotional happening on the upside, especially if there's a final puke. If there's a final puke that doesn't wreck Bitcoin, if MicroStrategy stock goes down, but it doesn't take Bitcoin, say below 91 or 90, there could be a setup for a bigger move. Now, here's MicroStrategy on a weekly basis. So there is some scary things about this, like you broke out of the top of this accumulation cone, you went to the premium zone. Now, there's some not scary things about this, because all this is a return to equilibrium. If I told you that we were in the biggest bull market of our lives, of our existence, if we are on the verge of being able to unlock the shackles that, you know, Web 2 has put us in, and we're going to do something different, and the lead flagship stock of the whole thing is at equilibrium, you'd be like, wow, I'm early. And in many ways, you are. So if they want to take this stock down and fill this gap, they're going right into an equilibrium point. So it's like, okay, boys, you got to take it down. Have at it. Have at it. You bought the stock. You bought the stock at the top, and now you need to sell. Okay. You need to do some sort of year-end gymnastics. Okay. Right into equilibrium. Fill the gap. Things don't fall out of bed. Things will get better. They'll get better because, again, this is the flagship stock, the flagship narrative, right? Can you buy Bitcoin? No government would be thinking about buying Bitcoin if it wasn't for the way Michael Saylor acted. And Michael Saylor is probably going to demonstrate his mettle again by watching his stock potentially go lower and him continuing to bull post Bitcoin anyway. Okay, so what is happening in Bitcoin? There is resistance now at 97K. Okay. Equilibrium on a daily chart is at 80. So if you think it's going to fall out of bed, that's where you think it's going. And Bitcoin has to get above 97 in order to sort of like recover and end any slump period that it has. Meanwhile, Coinbase's stock on a weekly basis has got LuxAlgo support underneath, along with equilibrium. Note how this 5-wave signal actually proved very useful. One thing that has happened lately that, you know, when the Santa rally did not happen, the Santa rally didn't happen because everything hit the LuxAlgo premium zone and there were a lot of 5-wave signals. And that was when it was, and everything started to come off. But that's okay. So next year, we know as soon as we get that 5-wave signal, a lot of times we're out. Sometimes you get overshoots, but this time you didn't. And getting corrections, again, these are the type of things you need to check out in the podcast. And that is the market update. All right, let's see who's here. Bob, to the outsider looking in, they wouldn't believe that we're in a bull market. They wouldn't believe we're in a bull market, right? Keep it simple, Saylor. I'm a holder too. What happens when Bitcoin goes to 250 and the stock suddenly becomes cheap? Yeah, exactly. Right. Everybody is saying that MicroStrategy is overvalued versus the asset it holds. What happens if Bitcoin is undervalued relative to where MicroStrategy is? Has anyone thought about that? Particularly if they wipe out the stock on the last day of the year or whatever they're going to do. Okay. TC Cryptos thinks, stay strong. I think Bitcoin bounces off 80 before breaking 100. Okay. Bill, how can you help in our tax filing? Okay. Well, I've made partnerships in the past with people who do tax filings. I can maybe drop a link. I'll get an internet address or a website from a guy that I know. All I know is if you have to get your MetaMask wallet in and plug it into some sort of software, my advice on tax advice is do something. One day they'll have AI and they'll be able to check whether you did it or you didn't do it. The most important thing is to do it and try to do it as best you can. If you don't do it, that sends a really bad message, right? Just try to do it. Okay. Try to do it. Joe Black wants to know, Grandpa Bill, okay, why did I leave my previous employer 2 years ago? You retired or what? Sir, I am definitely not retired, and I have a lot of gratitude for my former employer for helping me get started on YouTube. And I wish them well, and I mean that. I am most certainly not retired. And I obviously need to dye my beard because I'm not a grandpa yet. I'm still fighting on this thing every day, and I'm here to help everybody. All right, I'm here to help everybody. Daniel J is in the house. Crypto Billy going with those emojis. Welcome, sir. Pancakes and peanut butter. Hans, right, with the sheepdog emoji, a personal favorite of the Eagle King. Cat D working with that Toby Ward emoji, the new one, along with the Eagle King and the Spartans from Patreon. All right, people. I wish you a happy new year. We are going to do our best to be live tomorrow night at some point. But what I don't want any despair. No despair. You can be short if you want. If you think it's going to 80, I will let you trade your book. We're going to help everything portfolio, all things portfolio in the YouTube member area. There's coins in there now. There's going to be more coins. There are coins in the podcast. So if you needed a HODL portfolio and some spec stuff and an XRP price discussion, it's in the podcast. You want to see a Bitcoin chart and you want to see the XRP fast price prediction, that's in Patreon, our middle tier offering, and a post done today. The deluxe XRP price prediction will be in the YouTube member area very soon. All right. So happy new year to you guys. I will see you tomorrow.